Hi, I'm Marcelle Pick, best-selling author and women's health expert, and today what I want to do is talk with you about adrenals. So what are adrenals? Adrenals are two small glands that sit on top of the kidneys, and they are so incredibly important. You cannot live without your adrenal glands. Who knew? We never talk about this in medicine. We talk about it because so many people are learning about it on the internet. So the reality is that if you have a lot of stress from many different things, for example, if you have a lot of stress at home, you have a lot of stress at work, you had a lot of stress as a kid, you are sick, you have Lyme, you have illnesses, you have viruses, all of that causes stress on the adrenal glands. And when you have too much stress for too long, cortisol, which you've probably heard about, goes up. Well, so what's the big deal? Oh my God, it is such a big deal because the adrenal glands, when there's too much cortisol, cause problems with many different parts of the body. For example, they can cause your thyroid to not work properly, i.e., it means that T3 gets blocked so it's not converted to active T3, so it feels like your thyroid's not working. You have more of a problem with autoimmune issues, more of a problem with your immune system. Your digestive system doesn't work, and oh my goodness, talk about hormones that go really out of balance. That's another thing that the adrenals can actually affect. So when you have adrenal dysfunction and you have too much stress going on for too long, it causes many of the systems in the body to become very, what I would call disarrayed. And so many people come into my office saying, Marcelle, I really think I have adrenal fatigue. I don't like that name very much because the adrenals don't really get fatigued, but they certainly can become dysfunctional because cortisol is either too high or too low. So I describe it as three different types of patients. I have the patients that are just exhausted all the time, the flatliner. I have the person that's the racehorse, just feeling a little anxious and jittery, has trouble sleeping at night, or I have the workhorse, and that person gets up exhausted and they can't sleep at night and they just kind of barely make it through the day, but they do make it through the day. So if you find yourself in any of those categories, the truth is there's so much that we can do. We can actually help with adrenal dysfunction by changing your diet, having protein at every meal, cutting back on carbohydrates and sugar. We can use nutraceuticals that can help the adrenals so much, and many of them are what we call adaptogens. So they adapt the body if cortisol's high to bring it down, if cortisol's low to bring it back up. We also know that dealing with whatever it is a stressor is so important because if you don't, we're right back into the same scenario over and over again, and we don't want to have that happen. So there's so many things that you can have power over if adrenals are part of your problem, but understand it has huge, and I mean huge, problems systemically for you if it's your issue.